EZS.
We're going to start here in a few minutes. Yeah.
BYGR.
So can you guys hear me? Give me a type something out in the text field just to make sure you guys have audio. There's going to be about a 30-second delay now, so yes. All right. Well, we're just going to start now. First, I'm just going to go over. I have the link, or not the link, but the actual post that was up above. I want you guys to keep this link here and this link here up because I have them up here. We're going to be going over those later on. All right, so we're going to go over the chat room here. This is the chat room. We're mostly Trade Ideas users in this chat room. If you're familiar with the software, great. If you're not, you're going to learn some of it tonight. But we have different rooms split up for different types of trading. We have different prep tools like watch list and pre-market scans, FDA scans, and I'm sorry, different scripts and stuff available. So, let me see if I don't have him on the line. Do I have a Stratton on the line? Okay.
SRNE.
Well, some of the things, okay, first off, the reason we started this group was to take over where other, I'm sorry, all right, hit me back. To take over where other places leave off. We have bots in here that you can actually go to the pinned messages here. They've got a tremendous amount of information that they can provide. So it gives you news, gives you pivot points, earnings news, a lot of different things that you guys can check that out. But as far as the room goes, let's say we're going to go over today. All right, so this is going to be a Trade Ideas webinar where we're going to introduce you to the software first off, tell you what it does, and tell you more about like different strategies you can set up. We're going to actually assemble a top list. We're going to assemble a multi-strategy window. We're going to set up an alert window. We're going to build all three of them. But I'm also going to teach you guys how to add custom filters or custom formulas and go over the different filters that are available from Trade Ideas. So we're going to start off at the first link right here, how to add a custom formula. I'm going to go to that link. I already have it up. And if you do not have this, you're going to go to your login. And you would need a Trade Ideas to actually do this, but you would log in and then scroll down to custom filters should be right around here, and it'll bring you to this page. So what is a custom formula? A custom formula, there are a lot of formulas or custom filters that Trade ID already has installed, but what the customization allows you to do is create columns and filters on your own. So ones that we're going to go over that I actually have in the scans that we'll be using is going to be this volume up 1, which is volume per minute. To add them, you're going to go to create new. When you go to create new, this is your source, and that is where you're going to type the description of the filter you're creating. So just to go back, okay, your source is going to be V up 1, and that'll give you a volume per minute. I'll show you how you can use that in a little bit. But so you have to type it exactly as I have here, V underscore up underscore 1. So create new, V underscore up underscore 1. You'll label this, and you have to remember what the description that you did that, because you can search for it later. But that's going to be volume per minute. I already have one there. I've already got this, so I'm not going to create it. But then you hit save, and it will appear in your formula editor. Okay, then if you guys, I don't know if you want, I'm going to leave this up here for a second if you want to grab a screenshot and get some of the other formulas that I have. But ones that also will be in some of the scans we're going to be building, high 52-week high. We can do lifetime high, which I have different formulas that do the same thing. It's just actually just written out.
Bratton Oakmont said here's the link.
Differently, but it is
YouTube.com.
Okay, do we have any questions on that? I'm going to just go back for a second. Okay, I see nothing. We should be live streaming, so... Oh, he has the thing there. Okay, so yeah, you guys should be seeing everything. And I'm just going to wait for 30 seconds for you guys to catch up and just give me a yes, we see everything. I understand it's not going to be clear. YouTube is when you do YouTube live, the video is going to be kind of grainy, but when if you watch it again, like stick around for the content, you watch it again and it should be clear. How can you isolate for... Well, okay, we're going to do questions and answers at the end because we have a lot of content to go over. But if you're just tuning in now, we have just gone over custom formulas. Follow the one link that was up in the chat room up above. I mean, that's the first link here. We're going to be moving on to the second link now. Okay. All right. So there's our custom formulas. We're going to go over now to the filters. Now this is Trade Ideas website, and I refer to this a lot because there's a lot of information when you're building a scan that you can get from here. So, okay, now when you build a scan, and it's going to be an alert or a multi-strategy window, you have an alert type. When you are entering an alert type, you're basically saying, give me a result in the scan when one of my alerts are met. So if you have you can use multiple alerts, but it's going to be, okay, I can use multiple alerts. So let's say if you use a new high or just say like for pre-market high, we'll say. Every time you have a new high or a pre-market high, it will trigger. But you have filters as well. I'm going to scroll down. Well, bear with me for a second. So these are all of the alerts.
Stratton Oakmont said, Reese, we can discuss that in detail in paid CLAS.
So, like I said, for the example of a new high, if you have new high, then you have these filters. So if a stock is making a new high, and let's say we have a price filter of, let's say, $1 to $50, it's going to show you every stock that's within $1 and $50 making a new high. Now there's That's where you can limit stuff down by adding different filters and actually creating a scan that, you know, narrows down what you're looking for. So, okay, so we're going to go back up and I'm going to go over just a couple of the alerts. Okay, so we're going to be using new high, and we're also going to be using new high filter. What is the difference between, and that is why I bring you to this site, because it gives you a description of them all. So obviously a new high is pretty self-explanatory. The new high filtered is you can actually set a time that it will look back. So it's going to be in days. So if I enter 365, it's going to be a new yearly high. You can do, also if we're going to do a pre-market scan or something, pre-market highs. If you do new high, that's just going to be during the trading day. Pre and post-market are different filters, or different alerts. And I could spend days going over this entire list because it's very long, so look over these and find different alerts that would, you know, to complement your trading style. But we're going to go down to, and I'm going to go over some of these when we build the scans.
On said tamer.
Okay, so go to filters. Here we go. Okay, so filters, like I said, we could filter by price. You can filter by the spread if you don't want, you know, nickel spreaders and you're looking for, you know, anything less. Put 5 cents or below, or 3 cents or below, or whatever you would like. You could filter by volume. You know, there's a lot of different ideas that you can actually. Like I said, everybody trades different, but what do you look for? What, like, if you're looking at a chart, you can do, you know, consecutive candles, RSI, and all multitude of different time ranges. But okay, so like I said, this is going to be a very long list. It would take forever to go through it all. So keep that link posted, or, you know, keep it handy, because like I said, I go over this a lot. Okay, so anyway, do I have any questions on the custom formulas or the alerts and filters before we move on to actually building one? I'm going to come back. Like I said, there is a 30-second delay, so I'm going to give you guys a second to respond. Messages, links were okay. Well, that's really okay. The video will be uploaded. Yes. You'll have a link posted. I will post it to the side here. There will be a webinars channel, and the video will be put into the webinars channel. The Bollinger Band filters, and I'll go back to it, are percentage in the range of the Bollinger Bands. Let me find, like I said, long list, but I'll touch on a couple different ones. Bollinger Band filter is a great, actually really good filter to use. Same with RSI. Position, where is it here? Probably went past it. I actually have that as one of the filters that we're going to use, so I'll show you. I'll show you when we're doing the scan.
No, yes, Mon said please go to YouTube and watch and post comments.
So if you put a, let's say, a value of 100, it would be, you know, if you put it in the min or the max. Let's say you put a max of 100, it will show you all of the stocks, you know, setting that alert minus what other criteria you use, but as long as they're at the top line, the top Bollinger Band or below. And I know it is here. There we go. Position in Bollinger Bands. Okay, so you can do a 5-minute chart, a 15-minute chart, a 60-minute chart of the daily. And like I said, it will be right here. Here's a description.
Stratton Oakmont said save questions till end.
Okay. What about VWAP? Yeah, okay. I'm going to revert you back to that list. You can read over the different filters, and you can do percentages above
Stratton
or
Oakmont said
below
go to
or
YouTube
at
stream
VWAP.
not here.
You can customize it however you would like. But okay, so we are going to start. I'm going to start. First off, let me get rid of this. Okay, we're going to start with. We're going to build this right here, leaving pre-market in the dust. So this is a top list. Now, when you look at my layout, you're going to notice there are a couple different things. We have windows that have a T at the top. We have windows that have an A at the top. And we have windows that have an M at the top. And here's what the differences are. Okay, so a top list, for example, this one right here, or the one we're about to build. These get updated every 30 seconds. And you are able to sort them by whatever you would want. If you want to sort them by price, you can sort them by percentage change from open, however you would like to sort them. It's all it is a list with whatever your sort, either top bottom or bottom top, however you want to sort it out. This one here is sorted percent change from open, and like I said, we're going to go over that right now. Okay, all right. I'm going to leave this right here. This one's already built, and we're going to build the exact same thing, and I'll show you step by step on how to do so. So, all right, so we want to build a scan. When we build a scan, okay, you have a channel bar that some people use. I don't really use the channel bar so much. I can go over that, but any creating of anything is going to start with the toolbar right here, and the toolbar is where you load and save your scans to the cloud, or you can load or save your layout however you would like. New is where you're actually going to click to open any of these windows. I'm just going to go over this real quick, and then I'll open that top list. Tools, there's different options that you can change for the software. External linking is if you have your brokerage platform, you can, if I click on SRNE, it will populate the brokerage platform and fill out everything else with the stock that I click on. To do so, you're just going to click on that. I already have Fidelity linked here, but that is how you would do that. You would just add a link, and it's it explains it's pretty easy. I know people have had problems with TOS. When you link TOS, I know it's not going to do it, but anyway, you use the alternative method, and you have to click on the window, the TOS symbol, not symbol, but the field first, and then it will work. Okay, what else is there? Symbol lists. We're going to go over symbol lists here in a little bit, and symbol lists are useful in top lists as well, because you can create a list. What a symbol list is you can create a list of certain types of tickers. If it's a watch list, if it's whatever you want to create, and that top list will display just the symbols that you add into this list. Windows, this is kind of nice because if you have multiple monitors and you have stuff that's covered up, you can show all of your windows. You can clear all of them, and clearing them just takes away the data, lets them start from scratch. You can close them all, minimize them all, do whatever you would like. And there's help and different account stuff. The idea surfing just rotates your top lists in your chart window. I don't generally use that, but all right. So back to what we were talking about. So we're going to open up top list window. I'm just going to go over here and I'm going to name it. We're going to name this thing leaving PM in the dust 2. Okay. And we're going to click, actually, you know what? No, I don't need that. Click your name, click advanced. This probably has filters in it, which I'm going to get rid of real quick. Okay, so you're going to notice, okay, there is no, a top list does not have alerts, because like I said, a top list is just, it just organizes them as long as your filters match. So there is no alerts for a top list. We're only going to have the filters. So if we go to summary, let's, okay, I want to change that, but I'll change that later. We can add the little, all the different filters right here. So let's say for this one, we're going to do, we want a top list of stocks between $1 and $50. Okay. I want to do volume in the last 5 days, which I don't see here. Okay. I'm just going to go to search, and you can search all the filters here. So I'm just going to look, I'll type in volume. I don't even have to do any more than that. And there's, okay, that's 5-minute volume. Yep, 5 days. Average volume in the last 5 days. Add that filter. So, let's say we want stocks that have 150,000. And you would have to type in, that's shares per day. So 150,000 shares per day over the average of the last 5 days. Okay, and I'm going to do position of pre-market. So, and this actually
On said full voice chat coming soon.
What this scan is looking for. So we go to pre-market and position of pre-market range. Add filter. And let's say we want stocks that are going to come into this scan window that have moved above the high, the pre-market high. So I'm going to say 100%. So I want stocks that have exceeded the pre-market high, that have had 150,000 shares traded on average during the last 5 days, and are priced between $1 and $50. Okay. Now these, it's after hours, so we're gonna, okay, so let me put my, oh, I'm sorry about that. Did I not add the sector? No. Do I have it here? That's why I didn't change something. Sort. I want to sort by change from open, which is not here again. In percent, not dollars. Filter, and I should be able to sort it now. Change from open. Okay. And why do I know why. I don't want sector analysis. Where did I put that? There we go. Oh, where the heck is it now? Why is that not? Where's this thing? There it is. And it's not here. Why is it not here? Because I just started that and I didn't. Okay, well, anyway. If you build that, you're going to have this. And why, and I'm going to show you why here. Your top list window here, I was going over notes that I have here. That is the same thing. $1.50. Daily volume of 150,000 shares, and stocks that have exceeded the pre-market high, and we're sorting them with change from open with the biggest on top, which is 1 through 50, 150 shares, and with the exceeded pre-market high and with the biggest on top. You can flip these here and it'll do, on a top list it's just going to flip it around, but I mean you can, if you build a scan for longs and you want to make it for shorts, you can flip it and it'll just look for the opposite. But when you build this, you can see I had the reason that I told you about the different custom filters before. You can add them as columns, and to add them as columns, you'll right click, go to properties, and oh, these are different top lists. Okay, it's going to be under configure, and your columns are right here. And you can add these. These are the columns that I have, but you can add whatever column you would like. You can also shade the columns. We're going to go over that later in an alert window. But so what this stock, once again, what this scan is going to do, it's not really scan, but the top list, it's now listing all the tickers today that were, you know, like I said, between $1 and $50 that had 150,000 shares traded on average in the last 5 days and are above the pre-market high. And these, I have the pre-market high listed just so you can double check and see that. It'll also shade, that's just a thing from the top list. It'll actually also automatically shade it too. So that's a scan or top list that you can use to see what is moving throughout the day. You can see a lot of the movers that we had today are on here. But okay, so moving on, we're going to build a alert window now. Okay, for the alert window, I have this here. Now you're going to say there's not much on there, and that's because I restarted my trade ideas recently and it restarts all the scans, so it's not going to find a lot. Okay, now let me bring up my notes for the alert. Okay, so, alright, here's your, this is a momentum scan, obviously, from the Momo, but once again, you're going to go to New, Alert Window, and that will bring this up. Let's see, why is this on the strategy? That's my problem, because I wanted to start from scratch, and it's creating, and it's using these defaults, but that is not a problem. Alright, I don't know what the, okay, we're gonna, okay, not your mama. That's good enough. It doesn't make a difference if it's the same name. Alright, I'm gonna clear all of these. Okay, I think that is good. Okay, so now we should have a, yep, nothing. Alright, so let's start off. So for the for this momentum scan, obviously the momentum, so we're going to want to see new highs. Add that alert. I want to see new highs. I'm also going to want to, we're going to use another one, that new high filtered. So remember, see how it says for a 52-week high, you add 365. Now it's gonna be the same thing because a 52-week high was obviously going to be the high of the day, but just as an example here, there's your 365 days as a 1-year high. So that's what we have as alerts. Now we have to build the filters. For filters, okay. Oh. So let's say we want to start with, okay, we're going to start with price. And you can type any of that up here and it will bring up the filters down below. You can search in certain categories if you'd like, but like I said, okay, so price is obviously a pretty common filter. So we're going to do price, do the same thing. Do it between $1 and $50. Let's do the average 10-day volume. Let's see if I have that on here. Yep, average 10-day volume. So let's say I want to see 300,000 shares. And that's not over 10 days combined. This, if you have each day, add that together and divide by 10, and if it's more than 300,000, it would be in here. Let's see, volume today. All right, I want to see stocks that have had 80,000 shares traded. That'll eliminate a little the noise that's in the morning. Oh, sorry about that. All right, and we're back. See, in the last 1 minute volume. Okay. I don't see that one here, do I? No, I don't. Okay, so we're going to go back here. We're going to type out volume. Okay, so 1 minute volume, and this is also percentage. Add that as a filter, and let's say I would like to see stocks that have had 1,000% increase in volume in the last 1 minute. That's going to be a big momentum signal. And I want to see stocks where the volume let's go back. We're going to do stocks in the volume in the last 5 minutes. I'd like to see that at least 300% increase. Let's do that pre-market range again. I like using pre-market range filters. So position in pre-market range, and let's say I want to see stocks that are above 40% of the pre-market range. And let's also do float. Let's see here, float. Nope. Okay, so a float. Let's say I'm not worried about low float, but I don't want to see any stocks over $500 million, 500 million. Let me make sure I did that right. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yep, good. Okay, and I also do a volume per minute. That's one of my custom formulas. I use that a lot. There's my volume per minute. Okay, so let's just say 1,000 shares a minute. That's not a whole bunch, but still that should give us what we got. And I'm just going to double check compared to my notes here, and like I said, you can see we have new high filtered, stocks between $1 and $1.50 that are 300,000 shares a day, that have traded 80,000 shares today, stocks that have had an increase of 1,000% of volume in the last minute, and the volume has increased 300% over the last 5 minutes. Stocks that are under $500 million in the float, and that are trading with about at least 1,000 shares per minute. Okay, I don't need this, so let me close this now. Okay, so I just lost it. Not your mama. Okay, here we go. Where have to go? Nope, that was the wrong one. You know what? Let's do this. I don't see it now. I don't think I just moved it. Give me 1 sec. Is it behind? What the heck? No. Something you can use. Looking for the not your mama scan. There we go. Okay. That's why I didn't see it. Okay. Now. So we've built the scan, but you can see I've got different columns up here. So to make the columns look the same, and then after that we're going to shade these columns. And just to show you what it looks like, I'm just going to run a history, and this is going to run the history for this today. So you can see I've shaded a few of the columns. So let's first start by adding the columns. Okay, so we already have time, symbol, price. I don't really care about the type because there's only 2 different types in this, and I don't need the description. So go back to configure, advanced. We're going to go to columns. Now, type, like I said, I don't need that. Description, I don't need that. So I will like to see float. Float. We'll add float. We're going to add percentage of the float traded, which is one of my custom formulas. Percentage float traded, which I know I have, but it might not be right here. Okay, I'm gonna have to search and percentage of float traded. You can see when it's a custom formula, it's going to say U. You don't really necessarily need to remember the number or anything, but like I said, just remember what you named it. I don't need to add it here. I just want to add it to this list so I can see it in the columns, and you'll see that all of a sudden percentage of float traded is now appears here. So let's see, volume today. Volume today. And change from open. And we're going to do a 5-minute RSI. RSI 1 minute. 5-minute RSI. We're just adding the filter. We don't necessarily need to enter anything for it. But when I add it to this list, it will populate here. So we're going to add that. Okay. So now we're done. We've added the columns. We have all of the other criteria. You can see that the columns are now there. I'm going to run a history for today. And let me space this out after this loads, because it's going to take a second to load, because it's going to go back and see what everything, it's going to do the whole list from today. Let me widen these up.
And D.
Alright, and you're going to also say, why is that different? Because this is 4 o'clock, and I probably did not have that today. Yeah, why did we not get all the way through? There's a TI thing. Should have populated all the way. Yeah, where time is going, right? Might still be loading. I'm going to try that one more time. Let me go from real time to today. Which is a good way that you can back test. When you search the history, you can actually even enter a time frame. So if you wanted to see how your scans perform, go take out a calendar, throw a couple darts at it, pick 4 or 5 different days, and run your scans and compare. You're gonna have to do a little bit of research, but it pays off in the end. I don't know why this is only going to 1 p.m. because we had a lot more. But if I scroll down to around the same time, you're going to see that we're going to pick up the same thing. So 110, right there, picks up the same stuff. Scroll down in this one, WPS. It should be picking up the same things. But anyway, so we're going to now go to the shading. To shade any column, you're going to right click on the header of the column. You will see custom colors. Now, a lot of my scans, you're going to see that I shade just about everything. I like to see, especially volume. I like to see sustained or growing volume on any momentum or anything like that. So I shade a lot of my different columns. But for percentage of float traded, let's say we wanted to do that. Okay. This is where you're gonna, you click on the customize your colors, and you're gonna get brought to this window. A lot of people are confused by this. This is very, very, very easy. You're going to create pretty much a gradient here, and this is your less than, equal to, or greater than. So let's say if I have stocks that have traded 4% of their float or less, I'm going to click equal, and it'll make sense here in a second. So when you click any one of those buttons, you're brought up to a color wheel chart. Now you can select one of these colors, or the easy way that I like to do it, because I'm going to be doing a gradient, so I want a couple different filters here, is I'm going to define custom colors. When I define custom colors, you're brought up to a color. Now I can choose any color of the rainbow, whatever you want. In this example, on this scan, I used blue. So I'm going to go here and I'm just going to select a blue. Right? Now, very easy, and this is why I like doing it this way, because I want to see it as a grade. I don't want reds and oranges and blues on one column. So I can take this right here, and you see as I move that, it changes the field here. Alright, so I'll make one there, add that to custom colors. It just added that color here. Make it a little bit darker, add it to custom colors. It made it a little darker there. And I'm just going to select a couple, a couple varying colors that are eye-catching. And that's probably plenty, because we're only doing percentage float. Okay, so if it is, I clicked on equals for a reason. So if I fill in this, all three of them will become this color, and we're going to change one of them here in a second. So when I click, see how all three have become like a light shade of blue? Alright, so that's no good to me. I don't want them all blue. So if it is less than 4, I want it to be white. When it has reached 4% of the float, then I get a blue color, right? And we're going to add that. So that comes up here. So let's say as we're going through, the next number is going to be 6, right? I'm going to click on this. I'm going to change it to the darker color, explaining here in a second. All of them have changed darker, and I'm going to change the less than to the color I previously selected. Why? Okay, so from 0 to 3.99, it's going to be white. When that percentage of float hits 4, it's going to change the color to this lighter blue. And it will continue to be that light blue until it gets to 6, which then it turns to the next dark blue. And on. Oh, I'm sorry, add. See, it popped up here. Let's say the next one we're going to do 15% of the float. That's actually a lot. Let's do 10% of the float. I'm going to click on the middle. Again, go to my darker color. Okay. Lighter color. Okay. Boom. Add it. See why I said I do the little gradient? It makes it so much easier adding this stuff. Alright, then we'll do 25%. I just messed up on that actually. Hold on, I just noticed that. I did the wrong color. Okay. Maybe 25%. Okay. Okay. And then let's just say 70. If you trade 75% of the float, that's not a ton. There's ones that rotate, a couple hundred times, 1,000 times, but that doesn't happen all the time. But just as an example, like I said, you can build that however you want. As long as you know what it is, it's fine. Alright, boom. So if we click this, you're going to notice now the columns are shaded. Lower, low percentage of the float traded, white. High percentage of the float traded, dark blue. If we scroll through, we're going to see variants of that right there. So it gives you a lot of information right there, because you see, wow, WPCS almost rotated its float, where PSTI did not. Now, obviously, the floats are a lot different, but that gives you some information. You can also do the same thing with the volume of shares traded today. Volume of shares traded today, you're just going to click that. I shaded mine brown, and I'm not going to go through and shade each and every column, but I will give you guys the scans that are complete if you want them. Just bear in mind, when I share these scans with you, you will have to add the custom formulas for percentage of float traded, or you're not going to get this column. And then shade as I've shown you. But like this will actually already be shaded. But since I've gone over that top list already, let me do. Where did I put that top list? I'm going to share the top list first, then I will share the one right here. I'm going to do it at the end of this game, or at the end of the webinar. I don't need to do that right here. It's going to be confusing. But I will share that one here towards the end. But now we have built a momentum scan alert window. We've built a top list. And now we are going to build a multi-strategy window. What a multi-strategy window is imagine multiple alert windows combined into one. So if you have multiple screens, you can build as many alert windows as you want. But if you're trading off of a laptop and you don't have many screens, this type of scan allows you to have the power of multiple alert windows, but compact them in a way that only doesn't take up that much space. And you're still able to. What I've done is I've actually shaded the strategy. So if I go to strategies, all of my strategies you see have different colors, and that just makes them stick out to me easier. And you can do that however you'd like. But for a multi-strategy window, let me move this over here. We're going to be using this. Okay, so this is $5 to $20 stock sprinters. If I click on this, you're going to see it's got 3 strategies. Now you actually have to do what I just did minus the shading. When I built this alert window, that's like building the scan for this Not Your Mama 3 different times. But what we've broken them down is to, like the whole scan is looking for $5 to $20 stocks, but we have one alert window built for $5 to $10 stocks that have alerts and custom and filters for that strategy. We have $10 to $15 stocks with its own alerts and filters, and the same thing with 5 to 20. So we've actually we've made one scan, but we've configured it so that we have customized by price level. And let's start. I'm gonna actually, you know what? We're gonna start this, but I am going to go and just so you guys are able to follow, we're gonna do this one by one. So I'm gonna configure the first one first, and I want you guys to see what I've done here. So the $5 to $10 sprinters. It is okay. The alerts I have is a new high, running up now and running up, running up now and running up. If we go, if you head back to the TI website link that I posted earlier, it will explain what the differences between running up now and running up are. Okay, so like I said, this was the $5 to $10 strategy. So what we've done is we have a filter, obviously, because we want to see $5 to $10. It's looking for stocks where the current volume is at least 2 times, and this is a TI thing. It's 2 times what it is trended at. So we're looking for an increase of double the volume. Stocks that have traded 75,000 shares today. Stocks where in the last 5 minutes the volume is at 400% of normal, and stocks where the price is at least where the price is at least 5% above the lower Bollinger Band. Somebody was asking about Bollinger Band filters earlier, and that's where you can use them. You can use them to If you don't want to see anything that's 5% is going to get you stuff that's not really heading down strong. If it was 5% or less, that's really tanking, and I'm looking for something that's going to be running up. And the reason that I did the 5%, somebody's if you're going to ask, well, why didn't you do the 30 or 40%? Well, that's going to cut out a lot of the results. So I'm going to let this eliminate some, and some of my other filters filter out the rest. And then this is a custom formula that okay, so that's the price change in the last minute. So it's got, that's not a heck of a lot of filtration, but yeah, so it's looking for something that, just as an example. So it's gone up at least 1 penny in the last minute. So like I said, that is your one strategy. I'm going to leave that up there if anybody needs to take notes, but like I said, I will be sharing that, so I'll give you guys a link to all of these when I am done. Alright, so moving on. That was strategy number 1. Now we're going to go to strategy number 2, the $10 to $15 sprinters. Alright, $10 to $15 sprinters. Here are the filters. Got a new high. It's running up now or running up. Like I said, you can find the descriptions for that on the website. My filter, obviously, is going to be between $10 and $15. I want stocks where the volume in the last minute is double its share. Same thing. We're going to do 75,000 shares. I've increased the volume, so I want to see stocks in the last 5 minutes that are 2,000% of normal. And this one we added an RSI. So I want to see stocks that are not super undersold or overbought, and like I said, I did that because some of the other filters will, this is going to be not a super involved scan. You can add a ton of filters. If you wanted to add filters where you get one stock coming up during the day, you can do that. You can actually, another one which I'm going to show you guys now. I don't have that in this scan per se, but you can, if you're doing something that you wanted to do a multi-strategy window, a really cool filter that not a lot of people use is time of day, and that's minutes after the open. So let's say in the morning, first 5 minutes, first 15 minutes actually, it can be very, very crazy where stuff is whipping around. You can ignore some of the whipping around by using the time of day filter. You can increase, later on in the day, increase the minutes from open and have, eliminate some of the stocks that are popping up that haven't really traded all day and they just pop up on low volume. So that is a really cool filter to use. But like I said, back to what we were doing. All right, that is the filters and alerts for the $10 to $15 sprinters. And for the last strategy, we have $15 to $20 sprinters. Okay, so we're going to configure this strategy. And just to save time, like I said, I've showed you how to do the one. You guys can easily do the rest. And if it's, like I said, if it's something that I'm not seeing VWAP, for example, I'm not seeing VWAP. All you got to do is come here. If you type VW, I'm sure it's going to come up. VW. Oh, look, VWAP. Everything VWAP related is going to come up. If you're looking for consolidation stuff, CON. Oop. COND. Oh, I'm sorry. CONS. Consolidation. All your consolidation is right there. All your filters, all your alerts, boom. You can look up however you want to look it up. RSI, boom, RSI stuff's going to pop up. So, like I said, okay, so this one, obviously, stocks between $15 and $20. Stocks where the current volume is twice of normal. Stocks that have traded 75,000 shares today, at least. Stocks in the last 5 minutes, the volume is 2,000% of normal. And on this one, we added a VWAP filter. All right, so this is going to show you stocks that the price is below VWAP, the price is at VWAP, and the price is no more than 3.99% above VWAP. try to catch them low, essentially. And like I said, there's your criteria for the last strategy in that scan. Then for the 5% sprinters, and this is actually kind of cool. So when you do a multi-strategy window and you colorize, when you color it, like when I did the shading, you don't really get you can't change the font. But when you actually do a multi-strategy window, you can change the background color, like blue, and the foreground color, meaning the font. So in this example, I got the font yellow and the background as blue because it stands out and it makes it easier to read. The red and the black. I've got one here. I think I use black and green stands out. Yeah, that black and green stands out like pretty nice too. Black and yellow, any of that. Then, if you open it up and you're like, well, I don't have the same columns as you. On a multi-strategy window, remember, when we went to on an alert window, we did it in configure and we changed the columns here. In a multi-strategy, you can go to properties and columns. You will not see that here. So for columns, go to properties, columns. Brings up, boom, boom, boom. You can add, like I said, if you don't have them here, you could add them. This one, U1, is going to be a custom formula. So if you did not add that, you will not have that. And that's volume per minute. But you would just add it to this side, and it will populate up here. So, like I said, then if you've shaded it and you've added all the columns, you'll have this exact same scan that I have right here. So, okay, let me do one thing. I'm going to share these scans with you guys. And of course, I think okay, leaving PM in the dust. I think I closed it. Yep, there it is. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to put these, the links to these scans into the chat room here. Leaving PM in the dust. And this is actually good point. Alright, so if you want to share or you want to load one of these scans, to share it, I'm going to hit right click on the scan and save or share to cloud. When I hit save or share, I get this link right here, which I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste here. And let me name that one Leaving PM in the Dust. Alright, so you guys in the chat room should now see that link, Leaving PM in the Dust. Alright, so next, we're going to do this Not Your Mama's Momo scan. Oh, before I do that, you know what? To load Leaving PM in the Dust, the link that is provided in the chat room, you're just going to go up to File, Load from Cloud. Since I just copied it, it's going to automatically put it there, but there is the link again. And you'll hit load and it'll open up the scan for you. But Leaving PM in the Dust. Alright, let's move that one over here for now. Get it out of the way. Alright, so Not Your Mama's Momo scan. Save or share that to the cloud. I see it. You guys are funny. You guys have, now that I'm adding this, if you guys have any questions at all, I mean, we still have a lot of time, and I'm going to still go over a couple more things, but as I'm posting stuff here, if you have questions, go ahead and shoot them off, and I can answer a couple of them while I'm doing this. But okay, so there's your Not Your Mama's Momo scan was added to the chat room, and let's do the $50 to $20 stock sprinters. Yeah, see what I mean? I'm seeing reactions to you guys live, but you're seeing it a little bit behind. Okay, how to set up this special formula. I will go over that again. Yes, sir. Give me 1 second here.
CIE.
And that is the $5 to $20 stock sprinters. Okay, so setting up the special formula. Alright, so it is a custom formula. Okay, you know what? I'm going to do this the same way you guys would do this. So I'm sorry, I'm going to cover this up for a second. But I'm going to go to TradeIdeas.com. When you come into TradeIdeas.com, you're going to see this window right here, right? I always stay logged in, but if you have to have Trade Ideas to enter a custom formula. But you're going to log in if you haven't done so already. When you log in, you can see I'm already logged in here. I'm already logged in. But when you log in, you're going to see right here, custom formulas. I'm going to click on custom formulas. These are my custom formulas. I have, oh gosh, how many do I have? 35. Because I can tell, because 35 is right there. Okay, so like I said, some of the ones that I had added that, and you know what? This is going to be easier. I'll just do this. Here's the volume per minute. You guys can add this with me so that I can show you how to do it. I'm going to post. Yeah, I'm going to post that picture in there. All right, Gabriel, follow me. I just that may be hard to see, but I just want you to see that so that we can do this together. Now, if you see the little U1, yours might not be U1. Like if I create one now, it's going to be U36. It's just going to name them U whatever to however as you enter them. But you're going to go down to the bottom. I have some here, so mine's going to be at the bottom. Yours might be up top, but you're going to create new. Okay, so now I'm formula creator. We got scan number 36. The source for volume per minute is going to be V underscore up underscore 1. So it's the volume up in 1 minute. Now I'm going to show you one other thing that's going after I do this, but when I was saying before, just remember it doesn't make a difference. You don't have to remember the U36. Just remember what you name it. So if you call it volume per minute, it's going to be volume per minute when you look it up in TI. Whatever you name it, it's going to be, that's what it's going to be. So volume per minute, and just hit save. Don't worry about this. What the graphics is on some of the alert windows. You'll see like a black little shaded kind of graph. That's what the graphics is. You can do a cone, which is the graph, or like the position and range or whatever. You normally would not use these, unless you're doing a position and range formula. But just leave that at none and hit save, and you're going to have volume per minute, and you can add that as a filter and as a column. So you can filter by volume per minute, and you can actually see it on the chart what the volume per minute is. Like I said, I'm not going to save because I already have it, because if we go back to custom formulas, you're going to see, boom, there's the formulas. Now, one thing that I do want to say is if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see filter codes for custom formulas. So when you guys write your own, and there's plenty of videos on how to do this on YouTube. You don't have to be a computer programmer or work for NASA. It's not that difficult, and you can really, if you click on here, I'm going to go to that actually. It gives you the code for the formula or for the filter. So I did V up 1, right? Well, let's see here.
IFON.
Let me see, 80 up. Okay, so see, you can see up. So this is the percentage change, percentage up in 5 minutes. That's it. So let's say you wanted to use one of these, like price. You could copy that. Go back here. We're going to create a new. And the second I put this in here, I don't know why there's a whole bunch of space behind that, but the second I put that in here and I say price, and I'm just going to put test so I know which one it is. The second I do that, it's going to convert price to, where do we have it? Price test. It'll convert it to the symbol. So like I did this one right here. This is price minus the volume traded today, and it's going to give you the dollars traded today. So you can figure that stuff. I mean, it's not hard. I've got a couple other ones like SMA, the 20 and the 50 and the 200, and I'm actually going to delete this price test because I don't want that. I've got some other ones on here that I use on my single stock window. So on my single stock window, I like to see what was the 52-week high, what was the lifetime high, what was the lifetime low. Obviously, that one's probably got a whole bunch of reverse splits, but you know, what's the 200 SMA? What's the volume per minute? What I was saying about when you save it and it says cone or whatever, that's cone. That's what the cone filter does. But you can see, you know, where's a position in the lifetime. That's stuff that I want to know. And you to do this, you would configure it the same way as you did the scans, and you just add, you know, when you do that, it's going to have a left column, obviously the left column here, the right column there. You put whatever you want in there, and boom, it shows up there. But what I do, like when I click on if I was in my TI and I click on a stock, it's going to populate. These are linked, so it will populate whatever stock I've clicked on. For example, well, can't see it if I do that. I'm going to click on WILC, see how it automatically changes this to what I've clicked on. But yeah, like I said, I like to know the earnings date. I like to earn that kind of stuff. So I like to have that information on the window for me. All right, I'm going to check. What do we got going? What is the formula for percentage of float traded? Oh boy. Okay. I'm gonna be here all day. I'll give you guys a couple of them here. Yeah. Here's my percentage of float traded. I sound like Obama. Okay. Well. Go USA. I am from America. I live in Florida. Awesome. Okay. I got an error. What error are you getting? It said down below error. You did not type. If you added that volume up in 1 minute, let me show you. If you added the volume up in 1 minute and you didn't do it exactly the way that I do it, lowercase v, underscore, up, underscore, 1. It has to be typed exactly like that, or you will get an error. Granted, I'm seeing what you just typed now, and you're going to hear what I'm talking about in about 30 seconds because YouTube does have a little bit of a lag. But what is the difference between price and last variables? Glad you asked. That's a good question. All right, like I said, I'm not gonna save that. Where did I go? I want to go home. Oh, you know what? I was already there. Crap. Codes. All right. If you scroll up in the God, he found the error. Yeah, if you copy it the same way, you'll have exactly. You should not have an error. If you scroll up to the that second link that I gave in the screen. Well, it wasn't a screenshot, but it was the one where. It was the www.tradeideshelp.html, that one. If Lance, if you can grab that up above and put it down there, I'd appreciate it. But if you copy that, actually, it's right here too. I don't need you here. I got it, Lance. Thank you. If you follow that link right there, you're going to come to this. So you're asking what's the difference between price and last? Okay. So it's the last print at the time of the alert. Now, oh my, if we can find last. Like I said, and all of these are you can just go on to here and scroll down, and you're going to be able to find you'll be able to find the difference, because every single filter is listed here. Daily RSI. Actually, from what I'm thinking, price and last is the same thing. It's the last price. You should be able to use if you're going. I mean, if you're talking about using it as a as the filter, is how do I make the scan go past 4 p.m.? How do you make the scan go past 4 p.m.? Stratton, very good question. If you make a scan and you've created it for a new high, that's only looking during market hours. So if you want a new high after 4 p.m., you're going to have to add post-market high. Oh, that was Wu-Tang. Okay, yeah, Wu-Tang. That was yes, that was your question. Yeah, very good question though. But that's how you make it go after past 4 p.m. If it's only looking for a new high or anything that is, yep, here we go. If you're looking for a new high on a alert window that is just new high, that's only going to be during the market. It's not going to be after hours. So you have to add the filter. Let me scroll up to where I can see that thing. I'm going to go real fast. Okay, see this new high? Anytime it's throughout the trading day. If you want after hours, you got to add after post-market highs. Then you will get alerts after 4 p.m. That's how you're going to do a pre-market scan or a post-market scan. Post-market scans are not. It's not rocket science. Or a pre-market scan or whatever. You're just looking for a new high during pre-market. You don't do a price filter or anything, but you can. It's very easy. You don't need to do a whole bunch of filters. It's a good pre-market or post-market scan. Like if you go to here, hold on a sec. If you go to the pre-market or after-hour scans, you're going to see my pre-market scan and my post-market scan. It's not the filters that make the scans. It's the layout of the filter that makes the scan. So if you look at my pre-market scan, I have the percentage of the float that's traded. I have the pre-market high and the pre-market low listed there. I have the previous day's high and the previous day's low listed there. It's all the how much information do you want to get? If I want to get certain information, that's why you can custom tailor it to give you exactly what you want and nothing you don't want. So if it's an my after hours scan, and I'm just going to bring it into view here. This is my post-market scan. My post-market scan has earnings date. You know why? I want to know, hey, is that ticker reporting earnings today? I mean, usually I'm on top of that stuff, but it's nice if it pops up and I'm like, oh, well, it's an earnings play. It's pretty easy. And if it's within a week of earnings, I have it shaded pink, so it sticks out. But that's my after hours, my post-market scan. And granted, like I said, I had to reset this my trade ideas. So let me run it today, and you're going to see. There's your post-market movers. I don't have a lot of filters on this scan. It's very it's price filtered, and even that is, I think, $500. I don't even remember what the upper filter is, because I want to see everything. I don't have any float restrictions or anything like that. I sort it by, now if you do it by percent change from close, a lot of people do that, which is right here. But if you notice, they're going to be different numbers, and you're going to say, well, what the hell? Why are they different numbers? This change from close is from yesterday's close. You have to do change in post market to see how much this has changed since the close, today. So don't ever scan by percent change or change from close. You want to change from post market percent, and that's what this is. That's what that, if you see, that is listed by. So essentially, if you want to look at it like this, I've created a top list. This alert window is a top list because it is organized by percent change post market. The advantage of doing it as an alert window and not a top list window is this. Top list windows refresh every 30 seconds. This, real time. So you're going to have a benefit doing it like this as opposed to a top list window. You cannot make a top list window an alert window. There's no alerts. So like something for this, it's great. Like I said, I'm only looking for highs, new highs. All right. Let me see if we got any other questions. Okay. Can you make a formula that last high relative volume leaders for multiple days, even if there are that list high relative volume and a decline on the third day? You could write a formula for the something that would do that. Yes. You would have to do that almost as a multi-strategy, though, because you're splitting it up and you're asking for multiple like trade ideas can do a lot of things, but it's not a person, so you have to almost ask it and tell it what to do. You have to say, I want this, and when you're saying so you could do that. You would just have to. That's almost like an RBI GBI, but you're talking about daily volume as opposed to a candle. But yeah, that can be done. Or it can only be done if we add in a single. If you're doing let me touch on symbol lists now that you asked about symbol lists. I'm gonna go back. Okay, so if we go to tools and symbol lists, like I said, you can make a symbol list out of a watch list. You can do whatever you want. You know what I mean? It's sort of however you would like. You can like I say, you can make your top list into anything. If you want to use it for that idea, yeah, absolutely. I thought they stopped TI at 4. No, they do not stop TI at 4. Like I said, you have to have it set properly, because if you're only looking for new highs, the day is over. It's after hours. You got to ask for new highs in the post market, or it's not going to show you anything. That's why you're getting it stop at 4.
Stratton Oakmont said Reese Bollinger works in percent, not for amount.
You guys are behind me, so I'm sorry if I'm answering questions that Stratton or somebody else had already gone over. Okay, can I load one into the symbol list? Sure. Let's, okay. We're going to go to Tools, go to the symbol list, and you're going to see this. So, what am I going to do? I'm going to create a new list. Okay, we're going to make a list of 25 random stocks. Doesn't have to be, like, you can make this whatever you want. Okay, so, like I said, we can just go AMD, NVDA. Oh, I don't know. Actually, I don't know if you can do that with the space, because you would have to copy and add them. But but just add AMD, NVDA. I'm just doing here. I'm just gonna go off of a bunch of just stuff off the top of my head, and on and on. Like I said, it doesn't necessarily. I'm thinking of stuff that that ran today, or actually, came up on scanners today. And it's literally that simple, but you add your little stocks and boom, your stock list of 25 random stocks is done, and you'll have whatever you want. I do top lists of my watch list, so I can actually see which what's the best performer of my watch list. What's moving the most? What's going on? You could make let's say, I mean, it would be a huge list, but let's say you wanted to do a list of low float stocks. Make a list of your favorite whatever low float stocks you typically trade. Boom, there's a top list. So you don't have to say, oh, I always trade dries. I hope you don't say that, but I always trade dries, and it was, look at what it did today, and I wasn't watching it. Of all the days where I don't watch it, boom. If you make my favorite list of stocks, you're gonna see it, because it's gonna be, if it's performing, it's gonna be at the top of the list. That way you don't miss stuff. That's what a top list is going to be used
WPCS.
for. That's to monitor a set list of stocks. But I'm going to delete that list because I don't really want random crap. Okay, let's see. You sound more like Vin Diesel. I was actually a lot of people used to tell me I look like Vin Diesel, but I don't see it. Okay, Stratton TI only goes to 6. That is incorrect. I live in Florida. I am Eastern time zone, and you can easily see it does not go to 6.
Stratton Oakmont said everybody go to day trading room on right in about 10 mins or so, and you can ask questions and we will answer in real time.
Post-market selected. If you do not have post-market selected, you're done at 4 o'clock. Thank you for your time, thank you for your patience. Okay. If you're working from a Mac in Fusion, okay, so you're running a virtual machine, you have to load the links via web version unless you are accessing Discord through Fusion 2. Yes, okay, that is a computer-related question. When you're running your trade ideas in Fusion, that is a virtual machine. So imagine another computer within that window. So it does not translate to the rest of your computer. It's just solitary. So yes, if you copy it in a virtual machine, you have to take it out of that virtual machine. Can you use a file to load stocks in a symbol list? Okay, can you use a file? No, but you can.
Stratton Oakmont said, "Happy we are on cutting edge."
Like a Excel worksheet. You would be able to load it from an Excel. Yes, you could do that. Just copy the column. Yeah. Assuming percent, how can you use the okay, Stratton? He's going to help with a couple of those. I'm just more along the lines of showing you like features, if there's any features of the software that you guys have questions over. I'm actually I know a couple things I haven't gone over, so let me do that. I'm going to show you if we go to new chart window. So you can do chart windows. You can set them up for daily, 5-minute, 15-minute, whatever you would want. There are a lot of indicators that will be coming out for trade ideas. Right now they are kind of bare bones as far as the charting goes, but they are not really known as a charting software. Trade ideas is scanning software. Their charts are great, but I mean, like I said, it's oh boy.
Mon said go here in 10 mins.
Okay, yeah. He Kathy, he's calling you to the chat room to explain some things further, and that'll be that bottom day trading chat room he's talking about. But yeah, the charts are.
Stratton Oakmont said yes, Greg. Count
If
builder.
you want to scroll through a chart, you're just going to click on the chart, left click on the chart, and use your mouse wheel, and you can scroll. That is another thing about this Trade Ideas. Trade Ideas now the software version that I am using is Trade Ideas the standard. I do not have Holly. Holly would give you certain arrows. You'll see blue arrows on when Holly triggers a trade. Like I said, I don't have the TI Premium. Stratton
said
does.
Greg
And
example.
Stratton, if he will be able to answer any Holly related questions. Like I said, I don't use Holly. Nothing against her. I just I build my Holly. I have Jason. I go by Jason, by the way. Giacinto is my name, but it's my grandfather's name, and it's super not popular in the United States. So and most people can't pronounce it correctly, so I go by Jason. Okay, yeah, count filter. Okay, like the color scheme you use. Okay, thank you very much. Like I said, you can shade whatever things that you're going to want to shade. I don't really care about time. I know that I can read a clock. And I'm using this one just to catch your eye. You know what I mean? Or actually, this one's RSI shaded. Let me show you something. And 90s kids are gonna laugh at that one. But yeah, all right. So let's say this one. Do you see how shading volume per minute can be kind of, now this is at 4 o'clock, but regardless, I could scroll down and show you different things. But you see how the coloring it sticks out, and when you not only does the red scream like, hey, high volume, but as it's shaded, you can see if that volume is increasing, if it's sustaining that volume, if volume is fading off. Like, it tells you a tremendous amount of information. The percentage of foot traded is not, that's not going to change that much. I mean, it will throughout the day, but I mean, for the small amount of increase in volume here, you can see it didn't really go up that much.
Stratton Oakmont said, I think Greg was being sarcastic.
This one I shade just for, it's nice to see higher float rotations. Sarcastic, okay. Yeah, I know. Some of my scans might look like an Easter egg exploded, but I do them. This is my breakout one, so I trade.
Oakmont said, I just need a ticker and I can make dollar from there.
A little bit more, but yeah, for me it looks like a crazy mess right now. Until you, like I said, here you can back test through Holly. Holly will actually back test a strategy and this and that. If you want to do it on your own, you're just going to go to, like right now, this is running real time. So from the moment I reset, or what it actually always shows around 4 o'clock. But if you want to run a time frame, this is where it would start. So let's say I want to start this at 9 a.m. Oop. And we're going to run it to, good enough. It makes more sense when you see, more results. And you're going to see, see how that sticks out? It's awesome. It makes so much, for me anyway, it makes so much sense. You do it the way that, that's all custom tailored to what works for you. This, having a scan is great, but like I said, making it work better for you, and that's the difference between a great scan and one that you can rely on and use because you're very intimate with the workings of it, and you know what it's telling you. It's, I mean, right there, like when you see stuff like that, and actually it says more available, but let me see one that ran today. Well, I mean, you can see, okay, Z-Sand, there was one Z-Sand. You see how I was saying, increasing volume and sustaining it. But see how it started to drop off right there? Started to drop off right there, pick right back up.
Stratton Oakmont said, I want to personally thank the Wu-Tang Clan for attending.
Forever grateful. Okay, yeah, it's Martin is in the house. Okay, so I'm as far as the YouTube, and you guys are probably not going to make any sense of what I'm referring to. I have the chat window from Discord and the other. That's where I've shared all of the scans, and that's where we're going to host the next part of this webinar. We're going to do question and answer. So if you guys have any question and answers, I can still do a screen sharing on Discord. When we are on Discord and we screen share, there is a limit to how many participants can go on. That's why I would not have been able to do this. Discord would have been like,
YouTube stream stopping in 30 SECS.
That's why we had to switch it to YouTube. But yeah, it stops a little bit more than 30 seconds. But yes, we're going to be, like I said, we're going to stop the YouTube broadcast, and like I said, we'll reconvene in the Discord room, and I can go over any scans or any whatever filters or any other questions that you guys have. And like I said, we got the moderators in the room, Stratton, Lance, D-Mac. I don't know if D-Mac is still in there or not, but if any of those guys have any questions, we be more than happy to answer them for you. And like I said, we're going to go into the day trading chat room, which will be to the left towards the bottom. If you guys want to go in there, and I'm going to stop this now, and like I said, we will answer all of the questions.
Stratton Oakmont said Kathy ticker is FB or AMZ, and count alert is number of alerts that ticker has been alerted on the scan.
I hope you learned some things. This was a first session. If we get a demand for more, we can go into more in-depth things on different strategies, and this was primarily to get you, the new people, an idea of what to expect from Trade Ideas if you're looking to purchase it, or if you're new to the software, how to get around and use it. Maybe people that have it may have gotten a couple ideas from it. And like I said, this webinar, we want to thank Trade Ideas, number one, and they were gracious enough to offer us a discount code. So if you want to sign up for Trade Ideas, or you can sign up for a monthly or a yearly subscription, you can use my first name 20, GIACINTO, and I'm going to put that into the room. But it is all capitals, and you get 20% off. We normally do offer 15% off. So Giacinto 15 is our normal discount code. But like I said, if you're in the broadcast, I believe that it will be in effect for 48 hours. You can use GIACINTO 20 for a 20% off code for Trade Ideas. And I'm going to type that in. You guys are probably almost catching up to me now, so. Excellent. Okay, and like I said, so I'm going to be stopping the YouTube streaming now. Oh, I must have held something down. And we're going to reconvene in the chat room. So get your questions ready, and thank you guys. And like I said, if we get a need, we can do this again. We also have I saw Bayside in there. Hey, Bayside. Bayside is our developer. He's an awesome dude. But we're going to be getting together for a TOS Thinkorswim. That's going to be for charting webinar coming up here later on. Probably, I'm actually, it's a personal note, but I'll be traveling this weekend. I'll be gone for about a week and a half. So I will be out of the chat room on vacation, but when we get back, I'm going to be getting with Bayside, and we're going to be getting a Thinkorswim tutorial for you. And like I said, even if Bayside wants to join us in the voice chat, if you guys have any Thinkorswim questions or you have any interest in Thinkorswim, he might be able to answer a couple of your questions today too. But like I said, I'm going to be closing this now, and I will see you guys in there. Thank you guys so much, and I look forward to doing this again. All right, take care. You guys have a good night.